I just got finished rebuilding the Tekno ET48 2.0 truggy. Replaced basically all the screws, all the bearings, rebuilt all the shocks, all the diffs, changed front and rear arms. They were just worn out. It's nice that they have the bushing that goes into the arm so that it rides nice and smooth on the hinge pin, but the arm still wears out around that bushing. So one of the rear arms had a lot of play in it. The other side had no play in it. So I don't know if it was just from crashing. And just ended up replacing both of them. I'm just going to keep those as backup. Same with the fronts. The ones I took off, even though they're worn out. Still just keep them as backups for now. I have the ones over here. I'm going to put those on the buggy. So now that I'm done the truggy, I'm just going to go back to the buggy, throw those on, because they had a good amount of play as well on them. Just wanted to go basically make the trucks brand new. And this year, going to be doing a lot more tuning. I'm going to try and, mess around with the shocks a lot more, mess around with the diff oils, or even just the little inserts. Just try different ones and see, because maybe a different setup, I'll be able to drive it better. So the buggy, I tried doing that last year, but everything was so worn out that I was just like, I'll rebuild the buggy next year. I just kept running the truggy. The truggy, just a lot more fun, but I still like racing the buggy around. It's nice that it's a little smaller, so it can be a little bit more nimble. But the truggy was my favorite so far. And that's why I figured I'm just going to rebuild this whole thing up. We're not going to use it at the Dusty track anymore, because I also replaced all the pivot balls and all the rod ends as well. Everything is nice, tight, it's perfect. I already have everything set up, so it's just basically throw tires on it and hit the track once we're ready. Nothing changed on the inside of it. Still a Hobby Wing XR8 Pro with the 2200 kV motor, the Gen 3 motor. I did also replace the rear shock tower, because in the last video, the center section for the camber link in the rear was worn out. Now I have the camber link all the way to the inside, so we'll see how that does. I also did put in different inserts in the rear here, so hopefully, just by reading off of what it says in the book and the manual, just how my driving style is, it may help me out. So inside, I just put some tape there because I have Velcro on the body. Just helps, keeps it nice on there. I gotta put some tape too, so it stops like wearing through the body. I'm gonna put some tape here on the posts. Seemed to work on the buggy, so I figured I'd do it to the truggy now. But it's just nice with all the stainless steel screws. I do also, Tekno came out with a new chassis brace. As you can see here, the drive shaft kind of touches it and wears it down. The buggy is actually really bad compared to the truggy, but I am going to get the new center braces as well for that. And then the new shock tower, the center row was all worn out, so screw came loose. That's what I'm going to have to do this year too. Like, I would still check the screws after runs, but then a new screw would start coming loose, and I even lost one of these little pins in the front that are special pin. I do have extras now, but it's just the little screw in the front, even though it's Loctited, came loose and the pin fell out. So yeah, just gonna do a lot more maintenance this year, a lot more checking over, a lot more adjustments. The only problem right now, I need tires for the truggy. So I have enough tires for the buggy to not worry about it, but I have 0 sets for this. They're all just worn out, the ones that I have. So I may be going out there with bald tires, but just trying to find a decent deal. The tires are definitely more expensive for the truggy than the buggy, so we'll see how it goes. I like those Duratrack Posse tires, but I'm gonna have to place an order and hopefully they come in before the spring. If not, I'll just pay the money and get them from A-Main, because they're kind of cheap there too. Yeah, that's about it right now. gonna start going. I gotta do the rear arms there for the buggy now. But I also talk about the buggy. Tekno came out with new shock towers, front and rear. So the rear actually has a double row of shock spots, so you put longer shocks on the rear if you want, and also has a extra set of rows on the inside on the rear and the front for the length of the camber links. So I may actually order those as well, because then that's kind of like it'd be a 2.1 basically. I would say they do have new front spindles too, where you can change out carbon fiber acronym like plates kind of deal. I really don't care about that right now. I do like how the rear shock tower also has adjustable wing mount too, so you can put the wing higher or lower. I think I may order that for the buggy, but it's not a big deal right now. Mostly want to get the new center chassis braces. So, here, so the buggy is actually, I got the Velcro on here too. That's why I took the Velcro. I taped it up on the buggy, on the truggy, I mean. But this one is obviously a lot more worn out. You can see how, like, it's got to be bent, semi-bent. It kind of looks like it in the video here, but that's also because right here, it's actually a pretty good dip in it, so it kind of looks bent. But you can see here where it's rubbing here. I think from my battery, something got in there before, or a rock or something like that. But here is rubbing on the chassis brace, and here as well. Really bad, worn out. So I do have a new one. I was just waiting until this either broke or got really bent. But if I get that new chassis brace, I'll change this out as well and see if it actually does work. But on the truggy, like I was saying, just a little spot there and a tiny spot there. So nothing crazy on there on the truggy. So I wasn't really too worried about it, but since they do have a new kit brace for it, yeah, I'll get it for both of them. So that's about it for now. Thanks for watching.